Hi everybody, I'm Captain Floofers,
And I'm Soylent Greg.
and welcome to Cuphead. We were going to play Cuphead co-op together, but apparently you can't do that online because even in the year of our Lord 2024, we can't decide whether or not we want online co-op or couch co-op
Apparently,
because apparently we can't have both. So I'm going to be playing by myself.
appar- apparently not. Do you have you don't have it on Steam, do you?
No.
Okay. It doesn't have
Um.
online co-op on Steam either,
Oh, okay.
but there are apparently like programs you can use with like to simulate it, like to simulate the local console over like a I don't know. There are programs that let you do that.
Gotcha.
I don't even have Cuphead installed on my Mac, so I don't know if it would work with the Mac, honestly.
Just gotta remember the controls and everything. Um, I've played this before a few years back. I haven't beaten it. I think I got to like the third area. Um,
I have beaten Cuphead. I have not beaten the downloadable content.
okay, yeah, like there's my
I don't
old
remember.
save. I'll just delete that.
I don't remember what. I don't remember what point I got to in the DLC, but I remember the DLC being kind of a jump in difficulty.
Gotcha.
It was quite annoying. Well, not annoying, but
It makes
this
sense
is a
though.
very good game.
Usually when they make add-ons for games like this, it's like, oh well, you've mastered the game. Well, now you can play this. Didn't
Fair. And I think I just was distracted by other games, and it was like I could keep bashing my head against this. Once upon a time, in a magical place called Inkwell Isle, there were two brothers named Cuphead and Mugman. They lived without a care under the watchful eyes of the wise Elder Kettle. I'm the Cat in the Hat.
Didn't they make like an actual cartoon out of this?
They did, yes.
Did you see it? Was it any good?
I've seen a little bit of it. It's okay. If you watch What We Do in the Shadows, the lady who plays Nadja of Antipaxos is Calla Maria, and she's quite good. But
Okay.
one day the two boys wandered far from home, and despite the Elder Kettle's many warnings, ended up on the wrong side of the tracks and entered the Devil's Casino. These days, the Devil would just have like a phone app you can use to
Yeah.
bet sporting events. Inside, Cuphead and Mugman soon found themselves on a winning streak at the craps table. Hot dog! Exclaimed King Dice, the casino's sleazy manager. That's rude. You don't have to. I mean, you can look at him and see he's sleazy. You don't have to describe him. These fellas can't lose. Nice, nice run, boys! Laughed a newcomer. The brothers gasped. It was the casino's owner, the devil himself. Now, how about we raise the stakes? He suggested with a toothy grin. Win one more roll and all the loot in my casino is yours, the devil boomed. But if you lose, I'll have your soul. Deal?
It's weird. He doesn't look like Bobby Kotick.
Note. I was trying to come up with a good devil joke, but yeah, no. For the record, don't do this ever. The Cuphead and Mugman have clearly never seen Wake in Fright. Alright, next page. Turn the page.
Wash your
Cuphead,
hands.
blinded by easy riches, nodded and grabbed the dice for a throw. Cuphead, no! Cried Mugman, for he understood the danger. But it was too late.
No, Mugman, I am the danger. I'm the one who knocks.
I am the one who rolls the dice. Of course, laughed the devil while slamming the floor. You lose! The brothers trembled in fear as he loomed over them. Now, about those souls. The brothers pleaded for their very lives. Wait, there must be another way to repay you, Mugman stammered. Yes, please, mister, Cuphead added. Story time. Perhaps there is, the devil snickered, pulling out a parchment. I have here a list of my runaway debtors.
I'm Bane all of a
Their
sudden.
souls. What?
Now I'm
What
Bane
is
all
that?
of a sudden.
Take Gotham City for yourself. survivors! And I just might pardon you two mugs. Just maybe. Something tells me no, though.
Now get going.
Now get going!
Time to
Oh,
go
you
mobile.
finish it up. The devil roared, kicking the boys out most rudely. You have till midnight tomorrow to collect every one of those shovels. Otherwise, I'll be the one collecting yours. Cuphead and Mugman. Oh my god, this is a whole fucking novel. Cuphead and Mugman were terribly frightened and ran away as fast as they could. Come on, Mug, panted Cuphead. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. We have to find Elder Kettle. He'll know what to do.
Come on!
That's no good.
Come on, step it up!
But if someone wants to take your soul in a way you don't appreciate, that's no good. It's always good to gamble with someone you love.
What a fine pickle you boys have gotten yourselves into. I know you don't want to be pawns of the devil, but if you refuse, I can't bear to imagine your fates. You must play along for now, collect those contracts, and you'd best be ready for some nasty business. Your deader friends won't be very friendly once you confront them. In fact, I used to expect they'll transform into terrible beasts, because they can do that. Take this potion so they won't hang you out to dry. It will go.
Listen, Gramps, the hunter must hunt.
It will give you the most remarkable magical abilities. Now go to my writing desk and use the magical inkwell there. Was it mystical or magical? It doesn't matter.
Mystical. It doesn't matter.
You need to prepare yourselves for a scrap.
Unless you're a rapper from the 90s.
Ooh, the tutorial level. The infamous tutorial level.
Oh no, yes, in which game journalist difficulty was a real thing.
Okay. Hold down to crouch. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Jump.
Tap
B.
for short, hold for high.
Ooh, okay.
Oh no, here you go. Here you go, here it is. Oh my god, you did it! Game over! You a winner. A winner is you.
Oh, okay. Go. Parries. Oh, I write parrying as a thing. That's for the two-player mode that we're not playing.
Cat face.
EX move. Oh, Hadouken. Okay.
Oh hey, we're playing Cuphead, so we totally are stuck in the retro zone. Sad face.
Oh wow. Okay, exit.
Hey Patrick, how come we never played any of the Life is Strange sequels?
Didn't we do like part of one of them?
I think we did do part of the. Oh God, what was it? The second one.
We did the one that was like the prequel with Chloe.
Yeah, we didn't finish it.
I forget what I was called, like Before the Storm or something like that.
I think it was called Before the Storm.
But I haven't even. I know of the other ones. I know that they exist, but like I never did anything with them. Hey fellas, looks like you're in for it now, eh? Well, I used to be the same way, always getting into trouble. Running, jumping, shooting. But now I just prefer strolling around and going to the pictures. But hey, let me give you a hand. Take this. Okay. Coin.
Coins are the coin of the realm.
There's a coin guy down there.
Purchase upgrades.
Okay, you get them from Pork Rind's Emporium. I'm just seeing what he got.
Oh, game over. Return of Ganon.
I'll probably just wait. Or no, no. I have 4.
You have 4 right now, yeah. I mean, I remember the heart being pretty good. It slightly weakens your power, but it gives you an extra hit point.
I don't know. I kind of like the three-way shot. Oh, it's short range. Never mind.
Yeah, it's very powerful. I mean, certain bosses are better with, you know, certain certain weapons, obviously.
Well, knowing my luck,
Everything's better with parry. Oh, you have
Oh,
to.
that's
You get
backwards.
the roundabout.
That goes backwards. Actually, that might be.
Call it morning
pretty
driving through
useful.
the sound and in and out the valley.
Yeah.
There you go.
We could...
Pork rind, you know, he's in and around the lake. Mountains come out of the sky and they stand there.
You gotta equip new purchases if you want to use them. Take a look at your equip card, you bums.
Hey, we just patronized your establishment, sir. You don't need to refer to us as bumps. Just because we owe the devil large sums of money.
Okay, so we got 5 people here. Well, it looks like there's 2 more.
Just because we owe the Sony Corporation large amounts of money.
What's this? That's Force Folly. That's the run
That
and
is
gun.
the first run and gun. There's 5 coins in that.
Ah, okay.
You can see it's got 5 little slots.
I guess I could do that real quick.
Oh, the little hourglass guy is so cute. There are so many little touches in this game that are just perfect. It's really astoundingly good. Yeah, this game, my son was obsessed with it for like a month straight.
I think I remember you talking about that.
Yes, he
shit.
would play it, and then he would get very angry at, oh damn, he would get very angry at not being able to beat a boss, and then he would play it many, many times, and then he would beat the boss. And then he would get to the next boss and get very angry about not being able to beat that boss.
Isn't that just like the standard gameplay loop?
Pretty much. But unlike me, you know, my 12-year-old has beaten the delicious last course, so...
Oh, that guy down there got me.
You died.
And you get infinite retries
Hey,
as well.
Do you want to know how much... Oh, yes, you do. You want to know how much of a dullard I am, Patrick? I literally just now, while talking to you about this, realized that the delicious last course is DLC.
Oh.
Have you realized that?
No, I did not.
Okay, you were also today your days old when you figured that out.
Yes.
I
didn't even think about that.
DLC, the delicious last course. Oh, it stands for DLC. Yeah, definitely a good idea to practice your parrying nice and early.
Yeah.
Remember, you know, weird thing to recall because it seems obvious, but just remember there is no time limit on any of these levels.
Correct.
You can go as slow as you want. Just don't stand under the acorn man or in where the other enemy is.
Right.
Please no die. People die when they are killed.
I mean, you're gonna die someday, man.
What are you wearing today? Shiba Games?
Oh, my friend JSR was at I don't know if you read about it in like all of the publications, but like
publications.
My speedrunner friend JSR has trained his dog to hit buttons on command, and he...
Oh, that's incredible.
He played at he was at AGDQ earlier this year, and they played Gyromite.
That's amazing.
But at SGDQ they played Major League Baseball Ken Griffey Jr. on SNES.
Oh, hell yeah!
And it was a fantastic run. But yeah, that's what the that's what the T-shirt's from, is for that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Slay the Spire shirt. best video game. One of these days we will have to do like a Slay the Spire series where I teach you how to play STS. It's the best game.
Yeah, maybe.
I recently discovered
That's a roguelike, right? Like a card-based
yes,
roguelike?
a roguelike card-based
'Cause
roguelike game.
my only issue is that I'm not very good with like deck building. But I don't know, maybe I'll get better with that. Because like there are like a lot of trading card games, and there are a lot of like video games that are based off of trading card games. That are like the there's like the Game Boy Color version of the Pokemon trading card game. Like it's a really good like adaptation of the game, but like I'm bad at it. When I played through it, I actually looked up like a certain deck and then like used save states until I got the cards that I wanted.
Don't forget that you can dash.
I forgot that I forgot that I can dash. I don't know. I didn't really see any place though where like to use it. I'm bad at video
It can
games.
get you out of trouble sometimes. Well, that's quite all right. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't realize it before, but I watched a video recently of Baylor Lord, who's I don't know, one of, if not the best Slay the Spire player in the world. If not the best, then certainly in the top 10. Playing a run with a couple of mods, namely Chimera cards, which are cards that have random modifiers on them, good or bad, and Spire biomes, which add little sub-areas in each act that have different effects. And I don't know why it took me so long to realize that there is like a gigantic mod scene for Slay the Spire, but as if I needed a reason to play it for like several hundred more hours.
Right. Actually, one that
I need to pick up that. I need to get that Link to the Past roguelike. You
oh yeah, the one
posted in our
the one that I
Discord
linked. Yeah. Oh, he got back up. Sorry.
Oh no, you're cool. Before
Oh,
it gets taken down.
Yeah, as soon as something like that goes up, like its days are numbered.
Yep.
And it's not like our talk.
Unfortunately.
It's not like our like I just heard about it like yesterday, I think, in another Discord.
God knows, poor Nintendo. They're really struggling. Some small fan project is going to eat their lunch.
Yeah. Especially if people can download it for free.
I don't know. I've played some fan-based Metroid games that were better than some of the actual Metroid games, so maybe it would eat their lunch. You never know.
I mean, to Nintendo's defense with AM2R, they were coming out with a Metroid 2 remake around the same time.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm saying I've played other Metroid hacks and things that are pretty high quality.
Yeah. There's some really good.
There's
some really good Pokemon ones. One I've been messing around with is Pokemon Emerald Rogue. Because I don't know if it was during the Mega Leak in 2020 or something. Because when that huge leak came out with like all of that Nintendo stuff. I think like Pokemon Emerald source code was in there.
Oh,
and
okay.
Someone took Pokemon Emerald and made a roguelike out of it. And it's really good. And it's a ROM hack, so you can still play it on hardware.
Oh, nice.
Like if you have a, I have a flash card.
Oh, that's badass.
So I can play it on my GBA.
Here
Speaking of things that have leaked, apparently this could be, and I don't have, I saw like a picture of this, so it could be fake, but like the Mega 10 fan things are going abuzz with the fact that apparently it was leaked. They're making they're doing an HD remaster of the Raidu games, like Raidu and the Soulless Army.
Oh yeah. Didn't like the
which,
the achievements for like SMT3 like change to like the Raito Kozunoha like achievements or something.
Something like that, yeah. Kind of weird. Like that is not even in like the top 5 like old Atlas games I would want to see an HD remaster of. But yeah, sure, go for it.
I
I
mean,
would much rather have ports of 4, 4A, Strange Journey, um, and the either the Digital Devil Saga duology before those. But
I mean, we
you know, I
have
don't get to
Soul
pick.
Hackers. We could
I don't
get
get to pick.
the rest of the Devil Summoner games. Why not? We still don't have the first Devil Summoner game over here.
No, we don't, unless you want to steal it.
You can buy it. It's just like you have to have a Sega Saturn that can play it, and you also have to know Japanese.
So, this allows me to talk about my theory of piracy. My personal ethos with regards to piracy is,
Right.
and I believe it's common sense that pretty much everyone should follow, is if I can buy a thing in a way that supports the people who made the thing, I will do that. There is no way for me to buy a Sega Saturn game in a way that benefits the people that made the Sega Saturn game, because you're buying it on eBay at that point, you know, from some collector with a markup and shit.
Yeah, it's charging way
So,
too much for it. I bought a copy of fucking the Skies of Arcadia port for GameCube the other day. Um, after shipping, it's like $200.
holy shit.
Granted, it's like complete.
No.
It's complete in box and all that, but like,
Oh, wow.
it's also a lot less than I thought it was going to be because that, like, from what I remember, has been like historically like marked up, like all the time. And I'm just like, you know what? Like some of these are, $200, like based on what it used to be or how it usually goes, sounds pretty reasonable.
Oh, you were so close.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna like,
Yeah,
strike while the iron's hot.
fair enough.
And now it's in my living room.
Yeah.
But like,
Awesome.
I had
That's my, you know, the way I do it. Don't steal things if you know the people who made them are out there trying to make a living by selling the thing. But if they're not selling it anymore, or if it's not available in a way that benefits them anymore, go hog wild. You can go pirate Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2. Honestly, it's fine.
I would say Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2 is kind of a gray area because they did technically have a re-release in Japan on NSO.
Yes, but there's no way for me to purchase it. And
I know.
Technically,
Well, technically there
the
is.
first game-
Technically there is. You can have a Japanese account on your Switch. I'm not kidding. You can have a Japanese account on your Switch and you can play the Japanese version of the SNES app. And you can play it that way. You can't read it, but you can play it that way. So that is a way that you can legally have it.
That's so fucked that if you're a Switch Online subscriber in Japan, you get Shin Megami Tensei and we don't.
Yeah, we got like Natsume Championship Wrestling or some shit like that
That sucks.
instead. And they got Shin Megami Tensei 1, 2, and If.
Damn, they got 1, 2, and If?
They got 1, 2, and If.
That's crazy. Oh, I was gonna say, also there technically was a port of, because I played it. I bought it and played it, actually. There was a port of Shin Megami Tensei for iPhone.
Oh, yeah.
It no longer works on the current generation of iPhone. It's one of those
Yeah,
games.
that's the only
when
way it's
Apple
ever been released over here.
When Apple moved everything over to like 64-bit or whatever, and got rid of all their support for like 32-bit programs, you lost the ability to play the Shin Megami Tensei game, which sucked because, yeah, I actually bought the Shin Megami Tensei, the English port on iOS.
Nice.
When it came out. and I can't play it anymore.
And the funny
It's
thing
like,
is,
you should give me that $20 back.
the funny thing is the uh, the translation patch for the GBA version is actually based off of the script from the iOS
Yep.
version.
Yep, they just took the iOS script and like tweaked it a little bit.
Like when I went to patch my, because I have the GBA version on my my flash cart, and when I went to patch it, it actually said you gotta like there's like some iOS related file that I had to get, and I was able to find it, but like there was like a batch file and shit I had to make, and like just for a translation patch. I think that was like the only game I had to do that with for translate, because I patched a whole lot of games when I was basically like refining like the games that I had curated for my flash card, and there were a lot of games that I patched for various reasons. Like there are a lot of really good like Game Boy Color conversion patches, like that take like old Game Boy games and like give them a color palette.
There you go, you got it. Oh, really? I
Yeah,
had
like
no idea that was the thing.
oh yeah. Actually, one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is there's a couple of folks who've been colorizing all of the Mega Man Game Boy games, and they've done 1, 2, 3, and 5 so far. And the funny thing is, like back in the early aughts, when the Mega Man Anniversary collections came out on like the GameCube and PS2, they were planning on making a Game Boy Advance collection that had the 5 Game Boy games on there, and it was canceled. And what these folks are doing is once they're done colorizing Mega Man 4, which they're working on right now, they're going to make a GBA collection ROM of it and call it Mega Man Mania, like the collection was going to be called in the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's so badass. And I've played around with the colorized 1 through 3 and 5 ROMs, and they're really, really well done. But like Kirby's Dream Land 1 and 2 are colorized. Super Mario Land 1, 2, and Wario Land are colorized. Final Fantasy Adventure is colorized. There's a whole shit ton of them. And like the only one that I found that kind of sucked was like there was a Metroid 2 one I found that wasn't very good.
That's fair. I'm assuming they're much better than the ones that were generated when you played the Game Boy cards in the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, these are full color games.
Oh wow.
All right, time for the first actual boss fight. I remember him being. I mean, he's probably I think he's like meant to be the first one anyway. I remember him being pretty easy. I say as I immediately get hit. I say as I immediately die.
I love how clearly he is based on the Dragon Quest slime.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is when you die and you have like the progress meter there to let you know how you're doing. And I see that as you know, kind of a, you know, extra encouragement, like, you know, you can get to the end. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. It's a good way of motivating the player. Oh, when he does that big puff thing, all you have to do is duck.
Oh, okay.
He won't hit you if you're ducking. There you go.
I can't duck from that. I mean, technically I could if I was standing in the right place. Oh, I was almost to the at the end of the first phase there. Also, I love the aesthetic for this game.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's amazing. Oh.
This game is so good. It's a shame that there aren't more games. It didn't like kick off a renaissance of more games like it, but I get why it didn't, because it's just requires so much fucking effort to make a game like this.
I can dash. That's a thing.
Yep.
Remember the dash.
Okay, Meatwad.
I don't even know why I did Meatwad there. It would have been a Meatwad voice.
I need complete concentration or the cup will die.
I'd make a joke about, like, fucking game journalists, but, like, I'm already much farther than they got.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, actually, I know you're talking about, like, Slay the Spire earlier, and, there's a game, I know you've already played it, but, like, there's I watched, a streamer play Balatro a couple times,
Oh yeah,
and
it's good.
it looks really, it looks intriguing. It's just like,
Yeah, no, it is absolutely my game of the year. Um, I am the worst thing I can say about it is that it is getting a little bit stale for me at this point. But according to Steam, I've put like 85 hours into Balatro this year. If the worst thing you can say is after 80 hours, it's not quite as fresh as it used to be. Like it's not at the level now where it's not quite at the level where it's like a Slay the Spire or a like Binding of Isaac, like an absolute like all-time classic roguelike. It would need a little bit more work put into it for that, but it's definitely getting there. Like even right now, it's an absolutely fantastic game. You got to shoot him, the
oh,
little
okay,
guy on the. You got to like jump and shoot him, yeah, like that,
gotcha.
and then dash out of the way.
We can always try, like, co-op stuff, like, another time, I suppose. Another co-op game I've been wanting to try with you is Quake 2, because I know you have that.
Oh hell yeah! I would love to do that. I have beaten Quake 2
So have I.
on Steam. I have not beaten all of uh,
The
DLC and everything.
the expansions.
Yet,
The
so.
expansions are great. Well, okay, no, the second expansion, like the second like old expansion, is not great. The newest expansion that Machine Games did was really good, though.
Woo. Way to go! Sorry, I was keeping the conversation to a minimum while you were like on the fight there.
Yeah.
You were saying though about Balatro.
I found it. It looks like something I might want to try at some point. Because if anything,
It's very good.
it looks satisfying to pull off like the combos and stuff in it.
Yes. There is some very broken stuff you can do in Balatro. It's very fun.
Okay, who are you? What's that? You two want to fly in a plane like I do? Ha! Huh. You're not sitting in any cockpit until you study those blueprints. Aeroplane.
I think this is the airplane tutorial.
Oh, okay. Okay, there's parries for that. Okay. pretty self-explanatory.
The plains levels are very fun.
Yeah, I remember doing the one with the Zeppelin lady and the genie. Oh,
Brendan Zeppelin.
speaking of which,
It's the Hildeberg fight.
yep.
This one is definitely harder. Granted, it's obviously, entirely up to you what
Order you
what
do 'em.
order you beat the bosses in.
I just kind of went this way.
Yeah, I think if you struggle with this one though, you should probably go back and do like the root pack.
Yeah, but that's the one with the vegetables, right? With the carrot.
Yeah, I kind of find it funny because they're the obvious tutorial boss, and we skipped them.
Oh, are they? Okay, I thought
Yeah,
that
they're
Goopy
not.
Legrand was the tutorial boss for some reason.
I mean, I don't know that there's not really an official tutorial boss, but I feel like the root packet are easier than any other boss in the game.
I just figured it was Goopy Legrand because in Dragon Quest the slimes are
Yeah.
they're like the first enemies you ever run into, and they're the weakest.
Oh man, that looks so good, by the way.
What?
The Dragon Quest 3.
Oh my fucking
Oh
god!
my god.
Yes. And Dragon Quest 3
yeah,
is
I watched that. I watched that whole trailer you posted. Oh my god, I want to get.
Yes.
I'm gonna get that. That looks fantastic.
Dragon Quest 3 is already.
$60 though.
I would pay $60 for it. Dragon Quest 3 is already an amazing game. I mean, I'm paying more than $60 for it because I got the collector's edition.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm not that surprised, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, it does look, it looks amazing. It's a full-featured, remake and everything.
They've got, new stuff in there as well.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
I know that, I mean, I haven't played too many of, like, the HD 2D games. Like, I played Live Alive's remake, and that was really good, too. Like, I'm pretty much under the impression that there, like, isn't a bad game for those. I still have yet to play Octopath Traveler, but I've heard a lot of good things about that, too.
I've played the demo of Octopath Traveler. It seemed good, but I didn't end up buying it. Yeah, I've never really played one of those 2D, 3D games before. That might have to be the first one.
That's fair. But yeah, if you get a chance to play Live Alive, that's really... It's a very unique game. I mean, not so much these days.
That was pretty good.
Because, like, Octopath Traveler, from what I understand, is pretty much like... It's kind of has a similar, like, story progression to Live Alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you play, like, different characters or some such. Yeah, I was watching you while we were talking. I was like, damn, that's the last phase of the Hildeberg when she turns into the big moon.
Yeah.
I will say, and it's a shame we can't do co-op, so I can't show you. The one thing I'm really good at in this game that, like, shocked my son is the Dr. Cowell's robot, the last phase where it just shoots bullet hell patterns at you. I'm really good at dodging those. And my son, when we played together, was like, "How are you doing that?" And I'm like,
Have you played Toho?
Have you ever played a Toho game? Have you ever played Imperishable Night? This is like This is Babby's first like bullet hell pattern this boss is throwing at me. Like it's like up, down, back a bit, up, down, back a bit. Yep. Like, oh yeah, I know this pattern.
I think I've only ever played a couple of them. I actually had physical copies of 2 of them.
Really?
I found them at Otakon, I think. I never got to install them.
Why not?
I just never got around to it, and then I ceased having a computer with a disk drive. Um, but I had yeah. Well, which ones were they? Um, Phantasmagoria Flower View, which was the Versus one, and Mountain of Faith, which I never got around to playing. But the only other one that I've actually played is Imperishable Night.
I've played that one either. I've played Imperishable Night. I've played, oh god, what? Perfect Cherry Blossom. Um, I don't remember all the goofy names that they have, but I've played like 3 or 4 of the Toho games at least.
That was also like fucking 20 years ago.
Oh my god, yes. I mean, you boot those up now, they're like running 640 by 480. It's kind of amazing. Speaking of Toho, unfortunately it came out in the same year as Balatro, and I need to go back and finish it. I got a decent chunk of the way into it. But there is an amazing game that I really hope the creator of has talked about wanting to get it on the Switch, and I hope it comes out on the Switch. It is sort of like how Toho Luna Nights was like Symphony of the Night, but with Toho characters.
Yeah.
There's this game that came out earlier this year called, oh god, what's it called? It's Toho... Oh, fuck, I gotta look it up. One sec. One sec. Toho
Shit.
Artificial Dream in Arcadia. Have you heard of this?
No. I haven't kept up with a lot of the newer ones.
It is, me either, but it is basically, if you took the old Shin Megami Tensei games, like
Oh,
SMT1
you know
and
what?
2,
You know what?
and did it but with Toho, but also put a bunch of like quality of life upgrades to make them more modern. You've heard of it?
Marsh did a video on it.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it. But I have the game. It's fantastic. I really need to like go back and pick that back up. It is like the best parts of the SMT games without the like really annoying things.
Yeah.
And like there's an entirely, you can turn it off if you want, but the whole gimmick is it's obviously it's Toho characters instead of demons, and I don't know anything about the Toho characters.
I know about some of them.
You hijack them instead of doing demon negotiations.
I thought they were
like a little bullet.
They're like supposed to be like copies of them or something that you
Yeah,
recruit.
they're like drones or something that take the image of various Toho characters, and you hijack them through like a little like bullet hell section.
Yeah.
And it's actually really, if you beat them up first, it's really easy. Like if they're at less than like 30% health, it generates like a super easy bullet hell pattern. You can also turn the bullet hell off in the options if you just absolutely hate it. There's also there's an easy mode and a hard mode you can set up in the thing. Yeah, it's really good, and it gives you a lot of freedom and flexibility compared to SMT. I feel like because the creator knew that like the people who are into Toho would want to like take their Toho waifu like all the way through the game.
Yeah.
So it's really, unlike SMT where you basically always have to be fusing your demons, you can pretty much give with a little tiny bit of grinding, like not even like a lot. You can pretty much give any skill and any set of like elemental strengths and weaknesses to any character
without having to fuse them.
Yeah, basically you can sacrifice one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Go into the demon fusion, you can sacrifice one to like give it stats to a current person, and there's a thing where you can sacrifice them to give like a burst of experience to another character. So like instead of doing like a whole bunch of grinding, all I had to do in a couple dungeons if I wanted to like keep that person was pick up a couple of trash, hijack a couple like trash, not demons or whatever, go to the demon fusion and like sacrifice them to give my character like levels. Um, it's really cool. It has this neat system. There's uh, action points. Like it has this status bar that lets you do like the captures and lets you do like hyper moves, and the bar goes up a little bit when you do attacks and goes up a bunch when you hit a weakness. But if enemies hit your weaknesses, the bar goes way down. So it rewards like the SMT like kind of press turn style play. Like
Oh yeah.
if you're hitting the weaknesses and stuff, you're going to absolutely steamroll enemies.
Yeah, just gotta
I
make sure
can't
that you don't get hit with weaknesses.
I can't really make like you don't really need to know like the Toho details. I don't really know heads or tails of it. There's like you're a lady who goes to Toho Land in your sleep, and there's a tower in the middle of Toho Land that is spitting out um, copies of all the Toho characters, and it's really pissing all the Toho women off. So you basically have to like go around the world and go through dungeons and open up the tower and shit. Like I said, I got like 10 hours into it. I beat like the first couple of dungeons. It's very, very old school SMT. I highly recommend it. It is also only $10, which is insane. For like a full-fledged role-playing game.
I thought it was like a free fan game, I guess. I don't know what I was thinking of.
I don't know if it might be free somewhere. I know that it's $10 on Steam.
I think I just remembered that wrong, honestly.
I know that the person, it's like one person who made it. I think they did everything except like the soundtrack. Soundtrack good, by the way. They have said that they are trying to get it ported to the Switch, so I'm hopeful that it'll come to consoles at some point.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
It's a very good game, and it deserves to be on more platforms. Yeah. Anyway,
I realize I'm making rookie mistakes, but like.
I've actually ended up talking about that way more than I talked about Balatro, which is my game of the year.
Look, I know that I'm making all these rookie mistakes. Just shut up and eat your cheese sandwich.
Well, it's fine. I'm sorry. If you need me to, like, shut up...
Oh, no, not you. No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the inevitable... the people watching.
Oh, the people who are going to say,
no.
Oh my god, you suck at this game.
Yeah. I don't...
I feel like when you watch someone play Cuphead, like, you know what you're getting into. It's like when you watch someone play, Getting Over It.
Well, the difference is that I don't have any plans ever to play Get Over It.
No, I'm not really into those like massacre games anymore.
No, I was.
I really loved Super Meat Boy back in the day.
Yeah.
And, I played I Want to Be the Guy. But like that game or the new one that people are playing where you're the Sisyphus game where you're the guy, you got to push like the boulder up the hill or whatever. Like I don't get it. Like I mean I get it. People buy it and play it online because on videos because it makes like funny content or whatever.
Yeah. I think like the last time I like attempted to play one of those games was when I'm like, oh, I got Super Meat Boy on PS Plus or something like that, and it was like the Vita version. I'm like, I can play this on Vita. And then like I turned it on, and then like the soundtrack was different, and I immediately turned it off.
Yeah. We still don't really know what happened there.
I didn't even know there was anything like that until I heard the different soundtrack, and then I know the soundtrack has nothing to do with the game, but like, and I never beat the original, like on the 360. And I was just like, I really like the music though, and then they changed the music for like some reason. I'm like, I'm not into this anymore.
You know, I only know what he said, but from what he said, like it wasn't like Edmund McMillan's decision at all. Um, he sounded, very flummoxed about it. It was essentially like, and this is only his perspective, so I don't really know what went down, but he basically messaged the guy who made the soundtrack, "Hey, we're releasing it on all these platforms," and yeah, he didn't want to like sign a release and like to let the music be on the other versions of Super Meat Boy, and I don't know why. I don't know if there were conflicts there or what the fuck, but it sucks because yeah, the original soundtrack is much better. Um,
It's like when they at the very beginning when they did the Street Fighter 2 parody, and I'm like, at the very least, like the music there before sounded like it was a Street Fighter 2 parody. Now
right.
it doesn't sound anything like that. And normally I don't let anything like that bother me. Like anything with as far as the presentation goes. I mean, like, as long as the gameplay is still there, it's fine. But like, I don't know. It just that particular example just happened to be a deal breaker, and I still don't
Yeah,
know
no,
why.
and I get it, man. That soundtrack is iconic. It's fantastic.
But even then, there are also some like redone soundtracks here and there that like they're like
Yeah.
the same music, but it just doesn't hit the same. Like I don't have the Thousand Year Door remake yet on Switch, but I did watch part of somebody playing it, and I got excited because there was a certain song that I liked that was going to come on, and then like they just redid it like so much, like it was almost unrecognizable. I'm like, I don't like what they did with this. Oh,
Oh, fucking close, man. I thought you had it that time.
I'll get it eventually. I I, I like to think I know what I'm doing.
Interesting conversation to be had because now I'm thinking about like Team Meat. Like who is the goat? Like who is the goat indie dev?
uh,
Like McMillan's got to be up there. Like he's made two of the greatest games of
I
all time.
I don't know.
Like Meat Boy and Binding of
I
Isaac.
haven't played Binding of Isaac, so I don't know um about that one. And Super Meat Boy was just like something I was into for like a little bit, but it's not like one of my top games of all time or anything. Um, I really liked Fez, but Phil Fish is a fucking asshole.
I was gonna jokingly suggest Philippe Poisson.
Philippe
Uh,
Poisson, I forgot about that.
I was gonna make the whole like deathcore like metal band called Philippe Poisson all in caps, and it was gonna be like have lyrics like you gotta buy the what was it like you gotta buy the DLC to buy the DLC or something like that. Yeah, Toby Fox has got to be in the
I would say
conversation.
so. Yeah, Toby Fox is in there. Um, what other indie games am I really into? And I really like World of Horror.
Yeah,
I don't know if
no, I
Pavel's
I
done
like
anything
World of
else
Horror a
though.
lot too. I don't actually know. Is World of Horror like made by one person?
I don't know if it's made by just one person. I think that there were like other people that contributed, but I think that that one
That's
person
why
did like most of the legwork.
that is why I'm not worried at all about the video game industry. Like as much as we talk about how much the video game industry sucks, and all of these massive AAA video games like Suicide Squad and Concord are all like bombing massively and costing their companies millions of
Bro,
dollars.
I hadn't even heard of Concord until it failed.
Because there will always be these like weird video games made by like one guy that are gonna just be fucking awesome. Like for every shitty AAA game, there's a Vampire Survivors, there's a Balatro.
Yeah, most of the games I play these days are like
I
mostly
can't think of his.
mostly remakes, but sometimes like these like weird indie games that just come out of nowhere. They just kind of click with me.
I can't think of his name, but the guy who does Stardew Valley. That's another
Oh,
good
okay,
one.
yeah.
I can't
I
think
still
of his
haven't
name.
played Stardew Valley.
But,
I bought it a long time ago and just never got around to playing it.
I have it and have only played it for like a couple of hours, but I don't like. It's not one that would be at my top personally, but I recognize that like it's a massive success.
It'll
And,
be something that I'll get
like, a
into
really
like
good game.
a lot when I get into it, but like I don't want it to get in the way of too much else.
Yes, this is why I have not played very much Stellaris, because I started playing it and
Well,
I was like,
that's a completely different kind of game, though. That's a strategy game.
yeah, but I was like, I can tell that this is the kind of game that like once I put 10 or 15 hours into it and like understand the systems, I will like become addicted to it and spend like 500 hours playing it. So I have not gotten deep into Stellaris because I know it's the kind of game that will just eat my life.
I know my brother and my dad are really into it. Well, these days my brother's mostly Star Citizen and Fallout right now for Ian.
I've been trying to game less. I've still been playing a lot of Slay the Spire, which I've slowly been working on getting wins on Ascension 20 with all 4 characters. I have beaten Ascension 20 because you have to beat Ascension 20 to get all the achievements, but I've only beaten Ascension 20 with the first character, the Ironclad, who is probably the easiest character to beat A20 with, because really all you have to do with the Ironclad is just play a bunch until you get Dead Branch, and then just until you get a game where you get Dead Branch, and then just ride that to victory. Because that relic pretty much makes, like, specifically on Ironclad, makes him pretty much like he's a shoo-in to beat this run.
My problem isn't like I want to play less games. It's just I want to focus more on finishing the ones that I have. I've already just recently gotten the motivation to like just hunker down and focus on the Archipelago project. And I started recording that again earlier this week. And that's pretty much like the game that I've been playing.
Yeah, I feel like I have a problem. Like if a game doesn't give me like the cheap dopamine of like being a roguelike, like I just can't get into it anymore. Like the other day I took a night off and I was messing with my Steam Deck, and I ended up playing a bunch of games for like 20-30 minutes each. Like I played a little bit of Valkyria Chronicles. I played one of the Ys games that I bought a million years ago. A couple more games, and just nothing like grabbed me to the point where I was like, yeah, I want to sit down and play this for 40 hours. It's like it's tough.
I mean, I have a lot of games that I would like to just sit down and play for long periods of time. It's just that I also start similarly long games around the same time. And then I just want to play that game for a while, and then I never finish the other one.
Yeah, I have a big problem with that too, of getting into a game like an RPG and then getting away from it for so long that I like feel like I have to start it over again, and then you end up in a situation where you've played the first like 5 hours of Persona 3 Portable like 6 times.
Yeah. And I keep saying to myself, like, every year for like the past few years, I'm not going to buy any new video games this year. And guess what? I buy new video games every year. And I'm
Yeah,
just going to,
it
like,
happens.
I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to just not worry with that about that anymore. I'm gonna play the new Zelda, hopefully when it comes out. I'm gonna play the Dragon Quest III remake. I'm gonna play the Sonic Generations remake. I'm gonna play the new Monster Hunter when it comes out next year because I have friends that I'm gonna play with. So I don't play as many games as most gamers do in a given year because a lot of newer shit still doesn't interest me. It's mostly, again, like I said, remakes and indie games, but
Yeah.
I'm just not going to worry about, like, I'm still going to, like, keep my purchases to a minimum because that's how it's going to be anyway, but, like, just not worry too much about it. I still want to complete my backlog and everything, and it'll happen eventually, is pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah.
If I don't die first. Hell, this is on my backlog. This is one of my backlog games.
There you go.
So that's why I have.
Nice.
Nice to have an outlet like this where I can play. 2D and Top D was a backlog game, for better or worse.
I have a nasty habit of like buying massive games and then just feeling like, oh my god, I have so many like hours ahead of me. Like I have Persona 3 Reload and Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance on my Steam Deck right now. And like both of those are like 80-hour games.
I have Persona 4 and Shin Megami Tensei 5 on my Switch now.
And yet, like, I feel like it would be... It's funny because I feel like it would be easier for me to replay Persona 4 than to play either of those games.
And I still want to, replay a lot of these games as well, like do all the achievements and filling out, like, the checklists and everything on later playthroughs. So that's kind of part of it, too. Like, I really want to go back to Persona 5. And actually get the royal ending.
Yeah, I still need to play Persona 5.
Persona 5 is...
And I still want to...
is really good.
I want to get and beat more of the Fire Emblem games. The only Fire Emblem game I've ever beaten is Awakening. I have the first, or the Game Boy Advance one, obviously, on the Switch online, and I have Three Houses, which I've had forever.
I don't know what it is with me and Fire Emblem. I'm just, like, not really interested in Fire Emblem, like, specifically. Like, I want to play, like, Final Fantasy Tactics and Shining Force and shit, but, like, I don't know what it is about Fire Emblem that makes me want to stay away from it. And it's not like I can't, like, play through strategy RPGs. I've beaten 2 Super Robot Wars games. And those are long as hell. And it's not like I haven't played Fire Emblem before either. I played Sacred Stones, I think. I know that that's considered to be, like, the bad one, but, like, it's the one that I have access to. Oh, that was silly. But there's also a lot of games that, like Monster Hunter is a good example, where they have, like, all these kind of, like, different, like, systems and stats and everything that, if you play it all the time, like, you'll master how all that works. And that's, the stuff that kind of stuff actually interests me, and I really want to get into that. it's just like every time I've played something like that, like another one was the uh, was Strangers of Paradise, the Final Fantasy game. That was kind of like Final Fantasy Neo.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was like a lot of like these like, equipment sets you can have and all kinds of stuff, but like I never put in a lot of time to really get to know that. And by the time I had gotten around to playing it again, my friends had already stopped playing and were on to something else. And they told me there's like this setup, like if you have like Paladin at a certain level with these certain skills, you can just like turn yourself invincible and just breeze through the whole game. So that's what I ended up doing to get the trophies. And now I don't feel like I can play
Is
that
this
game
Monster
anymore.
Hunter World?
No, Strangers of Paradise.
Oh, okay.
Final Fantasy Origin. I'm
Because I have Monster Hunter World. I got it in a Humble Bundle, I think. I have it on my. I don't have it installed on my Steam Deck right now, but I have it in my Steam account. I could play it, and I have it.
I have been playing Monster Hunter World a bit because I want to finish the Iceborne expansion. But I'm like kind of in a weird position, like because I have friends that I can play with and that'll say just like whenever you want to play this, we're willing to play it. But at the same time, Wilds is coming out next year, and I'm like, I don't really want to get into making like equipment stuff and all that, like equipment sets and you know going out for all these like big hunts and everything when like the new game is going to come out, and I'm just going to want to do it with that. It's just kind of like, all right, well, I'm just going to like have my friends help carry me through the story, and then I'm done with Monster Hunter World.
I don't know. I feel like the last few years have just like I don't know if it shredded everybody's attention spans, but it feels like it shredded my attention span.
That's fair. I'd like to get into Souls likes, but um, I have Bloodborne. I just don't know how it's going to be when I get to it.
Oh man, Bloodborne would be an interesting one to be your first Souls-like.
Well, the reason I have it is because it was on sale for like $5, and then like or I think it was I got Bloodborne on PS Plus, and then the expansion was on sale for like $5. I think
I
that's
go
what it
back
was.
and forth. Yeah, I think it has been a few times. I go back and forth on what my favorite Souls-like game is, but it is probably Bloodborne at least most of the time. It's such a good game. It unifies like themes and systems and just with the whole Souls thing underneath of it. It's good.
I guess I'm just kind of like in a frame of mind where like with games like that, I just want to kind of like focus on being good at one of them, and then just
Folks,
like
you don't need
play
me
that
to
one.
tell you. Folks, you don't need me to tell you Bloodborne is good. The internet agrees
But
Bloodborne
then
is
like
good.
if like another one comes along and I want to play that one, then I'll just like focus on that one and like not go back to the other one.
In all honesty, probably the best one to start with is Elden Ring. Like I'm not even kidding. Um,
Well,
for a couple of reasons. It is not it is not the easiest Soulsborne game if you try to play it
twice
like
in
an
a row.
ordinary game, but they give you so much shit to help you in that game. Like you can summon multiple NPCs, you can summon other players. Um, you even have like the little spirit people that you can summon to help you in boss battles and your mimic
Oh, there's a
tier.
bullet right there.
Um, some of the late game bosses in Elden Ring are absolute bullshit, but
Well, I mean, I would
it
expect them to be with
is
that kind of game.
probably the it is probably the best one. Just do not go into it thinking that you have to solo every boss fight, because some of them are incredibly difficult if you try to play them the way you would play it if this was a Dark Souls game. Um, to be fair, a lot of the bosses become almost comically easy when you play with when you do them like 3-on-1, because their AI doesn't know how to react to being attacked by 3 people at once. But you know, it's a game. Um, and yeah, it's just really good. Like all the exploration, um, the bits it takes from like the modern Zelda games, but it doesn't. Don't worry, it doesn't have weapon degradation.
Weapon degradation was the least of Breath of the Wild's problems. The few problems I had with it, anyway. Weapon
Either
degradation was
that,
like,
or honestly, just the first Dark Souls. I have talked about this before. My theory: uh, Dark Souls 1 is not a hard game. It is an obtuse game. Once you understand where all the good things are, and you know how to deal with the problems that it throws at you, it is actually a very easy game, especially if uh, you know, lean on things like magic to get through it.
oh, she comes back at the exact same point that she went off the screen. Okay,
Yeah, she comes back in the same place that she left.
gotcha. I was expecting her to like be like way up or way down or something like that.
I think every Dark Souls game has been harder than the last one, with the exception of Elden Ring, which is harder, but it gives you so many things to lower the difficulty if you want to lower the difficulty, essentially.
Okay, so meme question, but also kind of not.
Okay.
If I get good at Kingsfield, would that make me better at Dark Souls games?
You know what? I've never actually played a Kingsfield game, so I could not tell you.
I don't know why.
Um,
I'm very interested in trying a Kingsfield game, like one of the PS1 ones. No, even you know. I know that like
the
the
only
the one that people always suggest is like the PS2 one, but like
the only thing I've played that's anything like Kingsfield is I have played From Software's other game, Shadow Tower, because it was on the Vita as a PlayStation Classic uh, for like $10 or whatever. And I played that, and it was very unfun. So I don't know if I would like Kingsfield. It has the hilarious honor of having what is probably the most FromSoft opening ever. When you start, uh, when you start Shadow
Shadow
Tower,
Tower, yeah.
whatever I just put. Yeah, when you
I
start
think
it,
I said.
you are on a walkway that has you can go forward and back, and if you go forward, the walkway collapses underneath of you and you instantly die. It is the most FromSoft opening to a game ever.
Got it.
Hell yeah. Take that, Hildeberg.
I like how I'm able to carry on a conversation while I'm playing this game, despite how
I'm amazed that you're able to carry on a
I
conversation
don't know.
while playing this game.
This is chill. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, you got a B plus, nice. Yeah, now go back and fight the vegetable pack. I bet it'll be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Good job. Oh, I don't know. Did you ever get the achievement for this? Go down the Go back.
Oh, I don't know. I
Oh
guess.
no, not for beating Hildeberg. No, I don't think you ever did. Oh no, cutting corners. Yeah, you got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you found it.
I guess
I was
it.
gonna say, go down and take the shortcut. Like if you go to the left there and go up, and then to the left, you can actually go around there. It's hidden.
I see.
And if you hadn't done that before, you'd get an achievement for doing it.
Gotcha.
But you have done it.
I guess I did that in my last playthrough. I say playthrough. I never beat it.
I like it when games on the Switch still have the little achievement tracker thing.
I've been messing around with like retro achievements. Where like I don't know how long it's been around, but like there are like certain like emulator plugins that'll hook up to a server, and like when you do certain things.
Apparently, you can do that with the Steam Deck with RetroArch.
Yeah, you can do that.
I've never messed around with it. Yeah.
RetroArch and BizHawk are the two big ones that are compatible with retro achievements. I've been using BizHawk.
Apparently, it's like a thing. Yeah.
But I've been messing around with that too. I got all the achievements in Shadowgate Classic, Final Fantasy Adventure, and Color a Dinosaur.
You gotta go like under him and shoot up, or you've got to stand to the side and do the thing where it like it shoots like diagonally.
Oh, like pointing upward.
Yeah, that's how you beat him. But yeah, you made it to the last phase, like on your first try.
I thought it was.
Oh, and you can jump on those pink ones and parry them.
I think I might have forgotten what the parry button is outside of the plane because I keep pushing B.
Oh, you just jump again.
Oh, is it? Okay, it is. Okay, just my timing was off
like
then.
That. We've said it already, but this animation style is just so good. Like the entire backdrop, it feels like something from like Splash Mountain. It's fantastic. Oh, you got cried on.
Oh, I was almost done with him too. Yeah, I had to work on the timing for the parries. There we go.
You don't have to do the parries.
Yeah, but I want to, like, if the game gives me like a skill set, I want to be able to at least be competent at using the whole skill set.
Yeah. They give you a better score at the end, and they help you. Obviously, they help you charge up your super move, which you don't actually have. I can't remember what you have to do in this game to get your super move.
Just shoot. Getting hits in will increase your.
No, I mean your thing when you have all the cards.
Yeah.
Like
it's
supposed to shoot like a hyper laser or whatever.
Yeah, if it's the same button. It's just like if you have it full, then it'll do the hyper move instead of the regular super.
Oh, okay.
At least that's how it was in the plane. I don't know if that's Okay, maybe not.
Yeah. See, it didn't do. I think you have to unlock the super.
Okay.
I don't remember what you have to do though.
It did do the hyper move that way in the plane though. That's where I got that from. Oh shit.
Oh, I thought you had it. Oh my god, you were on the flag. That's like like a marathon runner just dropping dead on the finish line.
It's the fucking long walk, dude.
The long walk. Just when you thought it was over. Just when you thought it was done. Just when you thought it was safe, man. We did it again.
Aren't they making a movie out of the long walk now?
I feel like they've been making a movie out of Long Walk forever. I know what's his face. The Hill House guy. Mike Flanagan wants to do a Long Walk movie. Is it Mike Flanagan or Frank Darabont who wants to do the Long Walk movie? I can't remember.
I think it's the first one. Because, I mean, I've been seeing... There was, like, a point, like, I don't know, maybe, like, a month or so ago where I started seeing more and more stuff on, like, the Long Walk movie, and I'm like... Really? They're actually doing it?
I saw on Max the other day, apparently they made a Salem's Lot movie, like another Salem's Lot movie recently.
Well, I haven't read Salem's Lot.
Oh, it's a good one. You should definitely read it.
I think out of the ones I've actually read, for Stephen King, it was The Long Walk, and then like most of the stuff in Skeleton Crew, so like The Mist and a bunch of the short stories.
I've read so many Stephen King novels.
I could swear that there was another Stephen King thing that I've read though. I can't remember what it was. I know I've seen a lot of the movies.
The Stand, The Shining.
No, I've
Misery?
seen. No.
That's one of my favorites.
I've seen the original Stand miniseries with
yeah.
Lieutenant Dan and Molly Ringwald and
Don't Fear the Reaper.
Jonas Quinn from Stargate SG-1.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
The old 90s miniseries.
Yeah.
Was it It?
I haven't read it. No.
That's actually the big one that blah, blah, blah. That's the big one that is missing from my read list. I've actually never read It.
I've seen both of the major adaptations of it, but I haven't read it.
I've never seen the old It with
Tim Curry.
With Tim Curry
and Harry Anderson and Seth Green. Cast is all over the place.
No, I've read The Stand. I've read The Shining. I've read what are the other big ones? I've read all the Dark Tower books.
I feel like Cujo is one of the big ones. I haven't seen Cujo either.
I haven't read Cujo.
Oh, you know what? Movie? I don't know if that's what I was thinking of. Was the movie I saw recently? Was The Dead Zone? That's really good.
Oh, I've never actually seen the Dead Zone movie.
The one with Christopher Walken and Martin Sheen. It's it's not like the greatest movie in the world, but I really liked it.
Nice. I'll have to look it up.
I think it's mainly because it's just kind of like a reminder of how good of an actor Christopher Walken actually is.
Oh yeah, when he like actually puts effort into it, like he's one of those people who has like become a meme and has like leaned into being a meme.
Yeah.
But like no, he's like a legitimate
if you see like
actor
The Dead
when he
Zone,
puts his mind
like
into
like
it.
The Deer Hunter, oh my fucking god.
Oh, The Deer Hunter, hell yeah.
That movie's fucking brilliant. It didn't need like the hour-long wedding scene, but like it was really good.
it did not need to be like 3.5 fucking hours long. But no, it's a good movie.
Why was I ducking?
I don't know.
I was
You
hitting...
died again. How dare you?
Oh, not quite at the flag. I should do like a whole run of these where like I make sure to die right on the flag each time.
Death on the flag!
Flag percent.
I've actually never read The Green Mile. I've seen The Green Mile.
I haven't seen anything from
And
the Green Mile.
I've read the story. I've read this whatever collection had the Shawshank Redemption in it.
I haven't seen that. Yeah, like the Shawshank Redemption is like one of those movies that like I like feel it's one of those movies that like everyone has seen, and I feel like bad for not seeing it.
You need to feel bad for not seeing it.
I know, but like it just feels weird. Like that was like just certain movies. Like, oh, everyone's seen that. Like I was like that with Blade Runner for a while. Like
Everyone has not seen Blade Runner. My wife had not seen Blade Runner.
I still haven't seen the proper version of Blade Runner.
You know what Aaron had actually not seen until I feel like we had this conversation. You know what Aaron had not seen until recently.
What was that?
I sat her down and made her The Matrix.
Oh, okay. I feel like The Matrix is kind of like, at least for me, is like kind of fallen out of like must-watch movies. I don't know. Maybe it's because like the other two movies weren't good.
Were not good. I still haven't seen the new one.
I don't want to see the new one. I don't care enough
Yeah.
to see the new one. I remember when everyone got excited for it. I'm like, why? The only one of the three movies so far has been good. Why do you think this one's going to be any different?
Well, the story behind that is great because that was part of the selling point with the Wachowskis was that they told the studio they already had the other two movies like written and ready to go, and they didn't. So it was like it took off, and it was like, when can you have these movies out? And they were like, oh shit, we have to figure out something to happen, which is why they suck. Because they had to like churn that shit out in like 6 months.
Oh god. No, you have to play the video game. Remember when you had to play the video game to get the whole story?
Oh yeah, I saw Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing the game.
I mean,
for those who are in confusion right now, there was a really shitty Van Helsing tie-in game.
Well,
and after
the movie was
Patrick
great.
And I and a couple other friends went and saw Van Helsing. We went to GameStop and played Van Helsing the game on their like standout where you could play demos of games.
Okay, so here's the thing with that. First off, the reason that we went in the first place is because I'm going to use like screen names because even though I've used my brother's name already earlier. So it's me and Greg, Volt Kraken,
I just
said a couple
and
Keki
friends because I don't know what their privacy settings are.
The thing is, like Volt was the one who drove us there because he was the only one with like a car or something like that. Or he was the only one with his
car in those days.
And then like right after the movie was done, like Greg like literally said, now to EB because Electronics Boutique was a thing at the time.
Yes.
I guess it still is in Canada, but it's still basically just GameStop. But like now they said now to EB so that we can play by Van Helsing the game, and then Volt took that literally and drove us to EB Games.
I remember that now.
And I remember that as like the one time, like, because they had two games in stock that I wanted: Symphony of the Night and Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. I didn't have any other money on me because I basically just had the money to like get my ticket or whatever for Van Helsing. And I'm like, oh, well, great. Well, I could have had Mystical Ninja and Symphony of the Night, which were two games that, like, I had always wanted to own. I mean, Mystical Ninja is my favorite game on the N64, and I had always wanted to play Symphony of the Night, and like I could have had both of them right there, and I didn't. And then Volt buys Symphony of the Night, and Gekiryu buys Mystical Ninja.
Yeah, you were right on the finish line.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine knowing you could have owned a copy of Symphony of the Night and you spent that money on a ticket to see Van Helsing.
Well, we didn't know we were going to EB Games. It's not like you know. I mean, I actually liked the movie at the time, but like
I didn't hate it. I don't really remember it very well, so.
It's not very memorable.
No.
Because the thing is, like sometimes we'll go out to a movie expecting it to be crappy, or expecting to not like it. But we've been surprised before. Remember that time we went to see Sky Captain in the World Tomorrow?
I was literally about to say Sky Captain. I was like, sometimes you guys drag me to see a movie, and I'm like, this is gonna fucking suck.
Wasn't Sky Captain your idea, though? I don't know.
Was it?
It wasn't my idea.
I don't feel like Sky Captain is at all the kind of movie I would have suggested we go see.
I don't know who... Because I know that you and I were both expecting it to suck, and then like it ended up being surprisingly competent.
Yeah, and apparently it's like an infamously like bad movie now. It has like a bad reputation, and I don't quite understand why. I get that there's like one controversial thing about it, which is that
I don't even remember that.
It used, I cannot remember who's the actor is. Was it?
The only ones I remember were Jude Law and
Marlon Brando or someone. It used someone's like some dead actor's likeness in like a holograph or something.
Oh, so this was even
was
before CGI Peter Cushing.
Yeah, this was way before that. This was like the very first one.
This was like,
and it was like really. I'm gonna look it up.
This is the early aughts when this happened.
Really controversial.
This is before half of you were even born.
Yeah. That came out in 2004. Holy shit.
Got him.
Actually, despite being a box office flop, generating $58 million on a $70 million budget, the film has since gained a following and is regarded as a cult classic.
I thought it was good when we saw it, so I don't know.
It was Sir Laurence Olivier.
Oh, okay.
In the role of the mad scientist and villain Dr. Totenkopf via computer manipulation of video and audio from when he was a young actor. Yeah, I remember that being like a big controversy when that movie came out. They were using his likeness. Oh, also we beat the Root Pack.
Yep.
Now let's get back to talking about movies.
Who are you? I'll be a monkey's uncle if I'm putting my moolah on the bank. For all I know, the devil can probably control the place too. Well, you're not wrong. I'll never get a hold of my gold if I spread it all around. Oh, you don't want to give me money?
Letting you know that there's gold hidden everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if anybody is watching this right now, anyone who is watching this is like Ian Malcolm in the back of the Jeep. Like, there will eventually be some Cuphead in your Cuphead walkthrough, right?
Well, I mean, we've been playing Cuphead.
No, we're going to talk more about Sky Captain in the world of tomorrow.
This is like, you know, this is like par for the course for our get-together playthroughs.
Yeah.
Unless it's something like incredibly brain-taxing, like 2D and Top D. It's usually like stuff like this.
Yeah, you don't. What do you have to do to get the super in this game? I can't remember.
I guess you probably have to buy it.
Super arts. You have to go to a legendary chalice mausoleum.
Oh, okay. Have we come across one of those yet?
Where is the first mausoleum?
Over here.
Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, you got to go there to unlock your thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Anyway, Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow.
Sky Captain of the World Tomorrow, ironically, would have probably made a much better video game than the. Oh yeah, you got to keep the ghosts from getting to the jar.
Gotcha.
You got to parry them all. You can't shoot them. You got to parry them. Ironically, Sky Captain would have made a much better video game than Van Helsing did.
Probably. Didn't they already have, like, Crimson Skies or something like that? That's basically the same thing.
Kind of, yeah. And of course, there was Captain Skyhawk, which is not at all the same.
Which is not at all the same thing. One of my speedrunning
It has
pals.
a very similar sounding title.
One of my speedrunning pals actually speedruns Captain Skyhawk sometimes.
Oh my god, that was one of my favorite games when I was a kid.
I know.
Made by Milton Bradley.
When I found out that he speedrun, I'm like, oh my god, it's Captain Skyhawk.
Those, how does he do those sections where you have to do the dog fights? Those were always so difficult.
Well, I don't remember. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him run it in a little while. It's just something that he runs every once in a while. He mainly runs like Sonic and Mario games.
There we go. Now you have the super.
Okay.
I love the little bit of like the haunted mansion goofiness they put in like the mausoleums. It's very cute. As someone who considers the haunted mansion like one of, if not the best Disney ride, like I like that like combination of the goofy and the macabre.
Okay, and that's when you have like a full 5 cards, right?
When you have it completely full. Yep. What the fuck is that? Oh, that's the passage to the DLC.
Okay.
I didn't realize that opened up as soon as you did the mausoleum. But well, now you can go to the DLC whenever you want. It's like you've got the Eye of the Blood Drunk Hunter now. God, do you remember that was so funny?
What was that?
Did you ever hear about that with Bloodborne?
No.
The day that the Bloodborne DLC came out, FromSoft shut Bloodborne down for like 2 months. The online features. And the reason they did it is because I cannot believe this made it to like the live game. The way that the DLC works is you collect, once you beat a certain boss early on, there's an item waiting for you in the Hunter's Dream in the hub world called the Eye of a Blood Drunk Hunter, and once you use it, it opens up a chalice that takes you into the DLC, basically. Well, people discovered very quickly that you could go into someone else's, like, be summoned by someone else in co-op and drop the Eye of the Blood Drunk Hunter, and if they picked it up, they could use it to get access to the DLC without paying for it.
Uh-oh.
So FromSoft immediately had to shut the online of the game down the day the DLC came out to fix it so you couldn't do that. I'm like, did they just not think of that? Like, how do you... That's the kind of error that should not make it to, like, live publishing. Like, hey guys, this item is droppable like every other item in the game.
Maybe they just, like, assumed that everyone would just, like, buy the DLC before playing it again.
I mean, you should, because it's excellent DLC.
But, like, nobody knew that at the time.
Yeah. Some of the best, I mean, that's generally the case for every From Software game that is DLC, but it has, you know, some of the best boss fights in the entire game are in the DLC. I like all the little with this boss fight, I love all the little like Ryu and Ken references that they put in with this one.
I didn't even realize that until you mentioned it.
Yeah, Ruby and Croaks are clearly like in part, at least partially inspired by Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter. There are a lot of little references like that in this game, actually. I wonder what these guys are doing now, the Moldenhauer brothers. Are they making a new game?
I don't know.
This is one of those games where the DLC took forever to come out. And I mean, that's cool. Like, if it comes out and it's good, like, it's okay that it took, however many... How long did this take to come out?
I don't know.
Good day for a swell battle. It's on.
Yeah, Cuphead came out in 2017, and the DLC came out in 2022. So yeah, it took a long time for the expansion to come out, but I mean, it's good, so...
Maybe just focusing on the... Well, I figured it'd be like a different, like, entity altogether making the cartoon.
Yeah, I think it probably was.
And, like, the merchandise. Because these guys had a lot of merchandise and stuff, as far as I know.
Oh, yeah. Cooper has, my son has little action figures, even. And he has, he doesn't, it's not hanging up anymore. Because it's not one of his, like, big interests anymore. But he used to have a Cuphead poster on the wall of his room. He also used to have a Mario Kart poster on the wall of his room. But now he has, like, records, mostly.
Are they all, like, Ringo Starr records?
They are not, but there are a couple of Beatles records.
Gotcha. I don't think I have
Yeah,
any.
There's nothing on Studio MDHR's blog since the 6th anniversary of Cuphead, which was in September of 2023. So,
Well, that was like that was a year ago.
yeah, if they're doing anything else, don't know.
Maybe they're keeping it like super secret to.
Could be. Maybe they're working on Hollow Knight Silk Song with Team Cherry.
they're just putting Cuphead bosses into Hollow Knight.
That's becoming like a I don't know how tuned in you are to like the meme escape or whatever, but that is becoming like a Star Citizen level meme. The fact that like Silk Song is never coming out. Team Cherry has just gone radio silent, and every time there's like a Nintendo Direct or like a Xbox showcase or whatever, the memes are like all about where is Silk Song?
When's Marvel?
It's been 84 years. What'd you say?
I said when's Marvel? That's another meme.
Like Boggle.
Sorry if anyone heard my Discord go off.
Oh, you're fine. My Discord went off a little bit ago. I don't know if anyone heard that.
I didn't hear it.
Okay, cool.
Oh no, they wouldn't have heard it. My the desktop audio's off.
My son and my wife were awing over a cat picture. Did I tell you we got another cat?
No.
I'll have to send you pictures. We adopted another cat. We have 2 cats now. He is finally he took a lot longer to adjust to the house than Rosalina did. When we originally got Rosalina, she was pretty chill with us within a couple of days. He took like a couple of months before he did anything other than like hide under beds. I don't know. I kind of get the impression he had a rough time of it before he
That's
came to the
understandable.
shelter.
Because, our dog, when we first got him a long time ago, he had, like, severe separation anxiety.
Yeah.
And, like, whenever my mom, like, went out to, like, the store or something, like, he would cry constantly.
Jeez.
But, like, he was a rescue, and he was, like, he was found, like, with a broken leg, like, having been hit by a car, kind of thing.
Jeez. Whew. It's heavy stuff, man. I don't know how those like ASPCA people do it.
And he was, like, a puppy, too. Like, when we got him, he was, like, 6 months old, I think. And he's, like, 13 now.
I'll have to put some pictures on our Discord. I'm on a bunch more Discords than I was a few weeks ago. Mostly related to writing stuff. Although I am I'm in Baylor Lord's Discord now. So I'm all about that Slay the Spire content.
Little guys on the slot machine.
This
Tigers.
is a really neat, yeah. This is a really neat mechanic. I forget which one, but one of these things that pops up on the slot machine is also a Street Fighter reference. I can't remember which one.
This match will get red hot. And begin.
The music's also really good.
Oh my god, yes. Wait until you get to oh god, what is his name? The flower. I know the track is called Floral Fury. I cannot remember what the flower boss's name is.
I don't remember what his name is either. Floral Fury's the song they put into Smash Brothers, right?
I think so. It's so good.
When they put the Cuphead costume in.
Agni Carnation. I just googled it.
Okay. Smash Brother Me Fighter costume is like the consolation prize if your favorite character didn't get in.
Yeah, I saw those.
I think there was like one character who did get in, but I don't remember who it was. It was like,
I
look,
thought it was great that they put Sans in there as a me costume.
I was not expecting them to put like anything Undertale related in there. To be honest, I mean, then again,
I was pleasantly surprised.
like I didn't expect to see a Goemon costume in there. There's a Doom Guy costume. There's
Well, that I kind of get after the Doom Animal Crossing meme.
I guess. I think that's more along the lines of the whatever like buddy relationship Nintendo and Microsoft had at the time.
Yeah.
Because that was like, or that came out like around the time, or like just after Bethesda, or ZeniMax technically was bought out by Microsoft.
Nintendo, you know,
ZeniMax
we don't
owns,
really do much. we don't really do much industry business talk because we're just a couple of schlubs and we care less about the video game industry than we used to.
Yeah, remember when we had a
But
podcast?
on breaking up. Yeah. But Nintendo really has the opportunity to like clean some people's clocks this upcoming generation. Xbox is floundering, and Sony is like seems determined to shoot themselves in the foot whenever possible. So I think if Nintendo announces the Switch 2, whatever they end up calling it, in the near future,
Yeah.
and at a reasonable price point, it could be huge for them. I mean, not that it's not huge already. The Switch is by far the best-selling console of this generation.
Well, that's because it pretty much won by default, in all fairness. Because, like you said, like, Xbox is just, like, or Microsoft's trying to, like, kill the Xbox, I think. They're trying to kill it. And then, like, the PS5... Like, I understand why people are upset about the PS5 Pro and all that, but at the same time, I'm just like, wasn't the PS5, like, always a waste of money? Like, what do you got? What do you got on? What do you got on the PS5? Demon Souls, I think.
I like my PS5. I'm not gonna say I don't like my PS5. I enjoy it.
No, to be fair,
there is not much on it that I could not play on the PS4.
That's my point. Is like even like I bought Earth Defense Force 6. That came out on PS4. That came out this year. Well, I mean, it came out a couple of years ago in Japan, but like it came out this year in the West.
Mm-hmm.
It's on PS4 as well. And PS4 and PS5 are compatible online too.
Yeah, for real. If you're like, what games are you playing on PS5 that you couldn't be playing on PS4?
Demon's Souls, and I think that's it.
I don't have much of a good answer for that. Yeah, like every major like release I can think of still has a PS4 version.
Right.
Like, God of War Ragnarok still has a PS4 version.
Spider-Man Miles Morales, that was a big one. That was like a big deal.
And that's
a PS4 version.
Why are you not shooting the guy?
Good point. I don't know. I'm being silly.
I just noticed you'd been through like a couple cycles and you shot the.
Yeah, I don't know.
On. I'm like, oh no.
I really should be shooting.
Always be shooting. It's coming.
Because maybe I was trying to focus more on the platforming, but yeah, there's no...
Probably.
I can shoot and jump at the same time, so I don't know why it was approaching it in that way. It's not like these are particularly super hard to avoid. I mean, they do speed up a bit, but like...
The weirdest console generation. It doesn't really feel like, oh, the coin gotcha. Finish line? Not quite.
Not quite.
It really doesn't feel like a new console generation. And it's funny because like the PS5 Pro and everything, it's like it's such an incremental improvement. But it already kind of felt like the PS5 was just like an incremental convenience improvement on the PS4. Like it's the PS4, but it has a more stable frame rate.
The PS...
And the fact that it has a solid-state drive means that you don't have to sit there waiting for a minute for load times.
But like the last console I really looked at and thought that the graphics were at least some kind of a big deal was the PS4. Like not even when the PS4 Pro came out. And they're like, oh, look, you can play in 4K. And I'm like, it's the same picture. Then again, I don't really have any 4K displays or TVs or anything like that. I have a 1080 TV out in the living room that I've had for a few years. I'm playing off of a 1080 TV on the game. And I have a 2K monitor for my computer, but like I don't really see a need to. I didn't really see a need to go up from 1080. The 2K monitor just kind of came with the computer when I bought it from Volt.
Yeah, it's weird because like it's strange to me that 4K TVs are like a thing. I mean, our TV in our media room down here is a 4K TV. Because any TV that's of a large size these days is going to be 4K. But most of the like streaming platforms, when it can tell you it's giving you whatever, but you're still streaming it in 1080p essentially and just upscaling
Right.
it. Even the PS5, like
The
for
PS5
the most part,
is just a PS4 Pro with a new badge slapped on it.
for the most part, like if you look into stuff like God of War Ragnarok, it's using checkerboard scaling. It's not actually running at 4K. It's running at like 1440p and using scaling to increase the image quality. And it's like, okay, the hardware is there, but the TV hardware is there, but like the streaming quality, like the internet quality and the software just isn't there to catch up with it. And it leads to this weird like half generation where I don't know, everything feels better but not. I don't know. Oh, that one keeps getting you. And of course, then, the meme, I don't know, I'm sure you've seen all the PS5 Pro memes, but the one that makes me laugh really hard is the one that's like the PS5 Pro, like play without limits or whatever. And it's a screen cap, it's like that logo, but the screen cap is of Vampire Survivors. And it's like, that's the joke. Like, what are you going to play with this console? You're going to play shit that could fucking run on an Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Like, you could run Balatro on an Xbox 360. You can run Vampire Survivors on, like, a Super Nintendo, probably.
Like, I wouldn't be... We're trying to think of words. Like,
Oh, you're fine. You're playing Cuphead.
Like, the thing is, like, I wouldn't be bashing the PS5 if it wasn't so, like, pointless, but, like, it's not like I would have been buying one anyway. I said years ago that I wouldn't buy any more consoles, and I stuck with that. Like, if I needed to, like, replace my PS4 for any reason, like, I may get a PS4 Pro, but only if I need to replace my PS4, like if it broke or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's only because, well...
Broke. I still have my PS4 Pro in our closet.
Well,
I could always ship that to you.
There you go. And I would only go with a PS4 Pro, like, over a regular PS4 because, oh, the performance mode is better. Because it's still going to be, like, I'm still going to be playing in 1080p.
Yeah, it's funny. In my office here, obviously I'm sitting here on my MacBook and in my comfy chair, but my desk with my, like, work writing computer, it has a pretty crappy desktop, but it has a 4K monitor. And I like it. It's nice. It looks good. But the main thing is it annoys me because it's a pain in the ass to get working with Linux because not to display in 4K, but to scale it with the 4K display is a pain in the ass. So it's like it would almost be easier if this was just a 1080p
Yeah.
monitor. But
I like Linux. It's just I don't appreciate how you have to pretty much have like a computer science degree in order to get anything to run. The only reason, I mean, I would still be using a Linux PC if I didn't get this computer. And this
It's
computer,
fair.
this computer has Windows 11 on it
Oh,
because
I refuse to use Windows these days. Everything I have has, there are some things I can't do with Linux. I have this MacBook for it. But
but the thing is
man,
like
the whole like Copilot AI thing is,
it's
God, it's just
I
awful.
don't even want it on there. But the only reason I have it on there is just because it came with the computer.
Oh yeah, Microsoft. They've gotten so bad in the last few years, man. Like I feel like I've been saying that for a while, but it's really accelerated with 11 and with the the new processors with the AI. I can't remember what the hell the new processors are called, but they're pushing it so hard,
Of course they are.
and it's awful. You got it. That shit where it takes images of your system every like 15 seconds or whatever. It's just like a, a spyware guy's wet dream, but it's like, oh, it's Microsoft doing it.
So it's okay.
Like, and it honestly it changed my opinion a little bit of Linux, because like the Linux community is full of people who will bitch about tiny things, as much as like we might complain about like snaps in Ubuntu, or like uh Fedora occasionally doing something a little bit sketchy with Red Hat. Like, for fuck's sake, at least they're not like, here's an AI program that's going to constantly run in the background and harvest your data. Oh, this is Cagney, I think.
Yeah, he's the last one. Um, it is like 10 o'clock though. I don't know if you still have time or.
Well, I can go for a little bit longer. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. We can do one more boss.
Because I don't know.
I'm running Debian now, if you were wondering. I use Debian, by the way.
I use some form of Debian.
Well, the thing is, like,
Here goes.
I've begun to realize I've distro hopped so much that I've begun to realize that there's, as much as there's like a million different versions of Linux, and somebody, God, I hope no Linux nerd watches this, because I'm about to say there's really only three. Yes, I know things like Slackware and Gentoo exist, but there's Debian, there's Arch, and there's Red Hat, essentially. Uh, Everything is either built on top of every many major Linux distributions are just built on top of one of those three things. Ubuntu is a fork of Debian, and Mint is a fork of Ubuntu. So is Pop OS. So you're using a fork of a fork of a fork, and it's like you might as well just go and use Debian or Arch or Fedora, uh, because I mean you're obviously you're a home user. You're not going to pay for Red Hat, obviously, because you're not running a commercial server.
Right. No, Mint was the one I was using, so that is Ubuntu.
Mint is awesome. Mint actually now has and I've thought of trying it out, except I don't really want to distro hop anymore, for God's sake. Mint actually has, it's called Linux Mint Debian Edition. That is a version of Linux Mint that has no Ubuntu in it, and it's made as a it was originally started as like just a safety thing. Like if Ubuntu suddenly one day like ceased to exist, could the Mint project continue? Which is pretty cool, because Canonical is another company that has been on the downhill swing for the last few years with doing weird and sketchy things with their customers. But again, nowhere in the level of like Microsoft.
The thing is, like with the major like OSs, like I always have my my big complaints about like everything. Because like I mean, with Microsoft and Apple, it's mostly like I don't like those companies. And Linux, like I said, I just don't feeling like I have to have some kind of a fucking computer science degree in order to be able to get anything to run properly.
You know what could absolutely change the game, and I wish they would do it, is if Valve released a home version of SteamOS. The version of SteamOS that is running on the Steam Deck, it's based on Arch. It's actually like a fantastic distro, and there are many people who are like, "How do I just install this on like my computer?" And you can't. It's closed source. It's Valve's closed source, project. But it's partially so good because the only hardware it has to support is the Steam Link and the Steam Deck.
Right.
But if they actually released like a home version of it that was like polished, with that like Valve sheen on it, I honestly think with all the shit that's been going on with the AI and everything that's been so heavily publicized, they could seriously get like maybe not a massive chunk of gamers, but a decent. They could move the needle some
I mean, I'm not even talking
on
from like a gamer
what operating
perspective.
system people are using.
I'm not even talking from like a game perspective. I'm talking about like just like everyday use. Like,
Oh yeah, no, that's what and I mean that's what I'm talking about. But that's how you get people in the door,
I guess.
and that's the entire reason Linux um, use is up higher than it's like ever been. If you look at like Valve's um, hardware surveys, and it's almost entirely because of the Steam Deck, because the deck is running on Linux.
A great slam and then some.
The Steam Deck does not have Windows on it, Some of those things do. Um, what's the one, the Ally or whatever? The new handheld that's like the competitor to the Steam Deck.
I don't fucking know. I don't keep up with that.
That one I think just straight up has Windows installed on it. I don't really know though.
Well, there's a lot of like super third party like pocket PCs, like mostly like the ones that are made by like the Chinese companies and stuff. They just fucking run either Android or Windows.
My friend who is the husband of my wife's friend, who's like the big tech nerd, has the Ally, and he really likes it. But no, I'm very happy with my Steam Deck. I think it's a fantastic product.
I'd be more into this. Like, I think it'd be more appealing to me, like if it didn't look so big and like bulky. Because
It is very bulky.
Because I'm a big handheld guy.
It's a big boy.
But like, that's way too big for like me to consider that something I would use like on the regular.
I get that. I totally get that. And it's a trade-off. I mean, and it's kind of a funny trade-off because we were just talking about the games that you can run on like a soup cracker. The trade-off between the Steam Deck and the Switch is, I mean, it is much bigger than the Switch, but it's also more powerful. There are games you can run on the Steam Deck that you could never run successfully on the Switch. Or you could run them far better. I mean,
yeah,
I can run Hogwarts Legacy on the Steam Deck with all the bells and whistles and get a 40 frame per second rate with some tweaks and stuff. And apparently the version that's on the Switch is severely gimped and like barely runs. But I mean, those are edge cases. I just like it because a big reason I like it is just because Steam games tend to be so much cheaper. there is such a
That's a good point too.
Switch tax. Also, the emulation on it is just fantastic. Like I have run GameCube games, I've run Wii games on it. It can handle pretty much everything you throw at it before the current like generation. And I know that like I don't think it can do PS3 emulation because PS3 emulation is so fickle right now.
Yeah.
But it can absolutely like you can do PS2 with all the like shaders and shit. I've tried. I know my cousin who I've told you about has the Steam Deck and does Switch emulation on it. Um, it's okay because he owns Tears of the Kingdom, but he also plays Tears of the Kingdom on his Steam Deck, and the version on his Steam Deck runs a hell of a lot better than the one on the Switch. Like I've watched him play it; it looks good. So that's neat. Although I don't know how that is anymore because they shut down the big Steam, not the big Steam, the big Switch emulator.
Yeah.
And Nintendo would do it with all of the emulators if they could. Ah, very close.
This match will get red hot. You're up.
I mean, I think ultimately, like, when I'm done with like my backlog and everything I want to do with the copies of the games that I have, I do want to have like some. I've mentioned this like millions of times, but like I would want to like I've been keeping a list of like all the games that I really like, and I would want like a handheld thing that can like just play all these games, emulation or not. Like right now.
Like, but what level are we talking about?
Well, right now
like, what's the like?
Right now it
how
seems
high tech are these games you want to emulate?
At the moment, it seems like the cutoff is like around like Dreamcast.
Okay.
And like there are plenty of like Ambernick things nowadays that'll like play like Dreamcast stuff, but it's like whenever I see them mentioning like, oh, this can play N64 and PSP and Dreamcast, but it's like just like a percentage of the games, and sometimes those games might not even work well.
Yeah.
It's like whenever I look at like an emulation option, and I see that there has to be like a compatibility list, I'm like, well, then it's barely worth it, because the only games that they're testing are like the super popular ones. Like on any given like N64 emulator, it's always like, oh, this will run Mario 64 and Mario Kart and GoldenEye. But like Mystical Ninja never works, Jet Force Gemini never works, Perfect Dark almost never works.
I can tell you from personal experience that the Mystical Ninja works on Steam Deck. I don't know. I would have to test that on my Ambernick. I've done a couple N64 games on it. And I know that I've played Silent Hill, a little bit of Silent Hill for the PS1 on it before, and that works fine. But I probably wouldn't try with the one that I have, the one that looks like a Game Boy Color. I wouldn't do anything like more bigger than like N64 PS1 on that.
I mean, I'm just
So I don't know.
All I'm saying is like I gotta have my Shenmue, man. I gotta have my Shenmue.
No, I get that.
My Sonic Adventure.
I would have to like look into. I know that there's multiple different like classes now of like emulation devices. I know Ambernick has one that like looks like a Switch that I think might be more powerful.
I mean, I've seen stuff like on a
like $100 ones that I have.
I think I watched like a video about a recent Ambernick release, and it's like Ambernick like releases new things like every 6 months anyway.
Yeah, they do. They pump out a a lot of them.
Like-
They've got one, I can't remember if it's them or somebody else, but they've got one coming out that looks just like the Game Boy Advance SP with like the clamshell, and I totally want one. Because
Like,
that
I
is like
love
my
that.
favorite.
Yeah, I
That
love
is my
that form
favorite
factor.
form factor.
I love that. I love clamshell form factor, but it's just like, are they going to be able to put like a, you know, fucking analog stick on it? I mean, there was that like that 3DS clone looking thing that had 2 analog sticks on it and had a clamshell, but like it's also like $1,000 or whatever the fuck, and I'm not paying that much for that.
Yeah.
I don't care if
The
it
one
can
that
play.
they were touting as like perfect for DS and 3DS emulation.
Yeah, like 3DS and like Wii U, and I'm like, and I've seen like footage of it running, and it looks really, really good, but it's also too damn much money.
Yeah, I get
It's
that.
very expensive,
That
Douglas.
that is a personal bugaboo of mine because, like, even on the Steam Deck, which it can handle DS and 3DS like perfectly fine. I tried to play Shin Megami Tensei 4 on the Steam Deck, and I just couldn't get into it because it doesn't work for me. Like the screens like squished together on like RetroArch. Like it looks and feels weird to me. It is frustrating. Like I would love to have some kind of device like that that has the double screens on it. But,
Yeah.
yeah, all the ones that exist currently are exceedingly expensive.
Or they.
I guess the other option would be to somehow like jailbreak an actual 3DS.
I mean, my 3DS has custom firmware on it, but like, there is an N64 emulator for it that's people are developing, but again, results are mixed, and I need to really look into like PlayStation seems to emulate okay depending on the game. Like apparently some of the games look really well, but like it needs a specific kind of format. Like you can't use like bin and queue files because then it won't work properly. I think I forget what I forget what the file type was, and ironically it was like a file type that they had just gotten to start working on that version of RetroArch, or that or the on that version of the PlayStation emulator, rearmed. Like when I was looking into PlayStation emulation on my 3DS, like that breakthrough had just come through. And I'm like, well, now I gotta find these games like in this file format, and I don't know how to do that or to make the format or what. Because
It's
like,
actually right here, my Amber Deck. It's funny that we are like complaining about. I was just thinking about it. It's funny that we're like complaining about this, and like it doesn't do Dreamcast. Like if you showed this to like 12-year-old Greg, he would have lost his fucking mind. Like this is a portable device. You can play any Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance game you want on it. That's still crazy to think about. Sorry.
it's okay. I mean, even with all that, I'm surprised how versatile the 3DS even is. Because like there are people like putting like just straight up ports of games on there.
Oh yeah.
I found I found out about a port of Sonic Mania that runs on the 3DS. That's a game that was made for like PS4. When it originally came out, it was for PS4 and Xbox One, and they have a Switch version of it too. And the downside is that the load times in between the levels are astronomical. But once the actual game loads in, it runs flawlessly.
That's awesome.
And the only thing I really needed to do to get it to run was I just needed to get the proper game files from legit distribution of the game. which I just bought the Steam version.
That's crazy.
And there's like a similar one for Sonic CD. And I have like the mobile version of Sonic CD that it's asking for. I just have to put it on my phone and find out how to extract it.
What I will do for you at some point, I'm charging this right now actually. I will put Goemon on this in the next few days and see how it runs.
Good day for a swell battle. Here goes.
What were some of the other ports that were on there? Funnily enough, you know that actually around the same time I found out about the Sonic Mania port, I found out somebody had done a port of I know it's not very impressive, but you know that Space Cadet pinball game from like Windows 95?
Here's a real
Oh my god, yes!
I have that on my 3DS.
I loved that game.
Um,
Oh my god, that's super impressive. Are you kidding me?
One of the very first games I actually put on my 3DS after I hacked it was a homebrew port of Quake, and
Fantastic.
that's actually how I first beat Quake, was on the 3DS.
Really?
Yeah,
That's badass.
like I had played it before on PC, but
I definitely had Doom on my DS. Because I had the hacked DS, and then I jailbroke.
oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember you.
Two of my college friends' DSs.
I remember you having the jailbroken DS.
Yeah, I had the little clear purple flash cart that I used to run.
Right, the R4
run
cart,
games
yeah.
Off of. Yeah, that was, you had to open up the DS and like go in and break the little thing between the two circuits so it could run outside code.
Right.
And once I got it working, like a couple of my college friends wanted me to do it to their DSs so they could also run flashcards.
The other big one I know about. Some of the I think Grand Theft Auto 3, they got a home report on 3DS.
Really?
Fallout 1.
Fallout 1 seems like it would be really difficult to play on a DS.
It's basically just mouse controls. You use the circle pad to move your cursor around, and then L and R to do left or right click. But you also have like control on the touchscreen with your HUD or with your UI, and you can just click by tapping the screen.
Nice.
And some of the stuff that they've done with like DS games. Like there are mods for DS games where you can like expand the top screen to do full widescreen.
Oh wow.
There's mods for games that put proper analog control via the circle pad, which is great for like the DS port for Super Mario 64, because that was like you used the D-pad, and if you wanted to run, you held Y. But someone was able to fudge it so that because you could still do analog control with the touchscreen, and they basically made it so that the circle pad corresponds to certain positions on the touchscreen. So they were able to implement analog control that way for Mario 64.
Nice.
I've got mods that allow me to do Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask randomizers.
Ooh.
And I can generate the seeds on the 3DS.
Oh, that's cool. Now the SNES Classic let you sideload ROMs onto it, and I added a bunch of randomized Zeldas.
Yeah.
But I had to generate those on my computer and then sideload them via USB.
Yeah, I do the same
Be
thing
able
with
to
the
do
3DS.
it
Yeah.
on the thing would be awesome.
But yeah, on for the 3D Zeldas, the N64 ports, or the 3DS versions of the N64 Zeldas, there are randomizer. There's a randomizer program you can download, and it'll make the patch the patch for the seed right there on the console, and then you can just patch it right there and play it. And then if you want to
That
start a
is
new seed,
awesome.
just make another patch. And
That is super cool.
the one of the most important mods I found is one that is for Dragon Quest VIII, and it replaces the MIDI soundtrack with the symphonic suite.
I love it.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
But because that was like the one thing holding it back from it being like the best version of Dragon Quest VIII is they went back to the MIDI soundtrack because of how much of a douchebag Koichi Sugiyama was with his with the music that he composed. But
Yeah.
they were able to. Someone was able to make a patch that hacked the symphonic suite into there, and now it is legitimately the best way to play Dragon Quest VIII.
Which one is 8?
It was
Is that Journey of the Cursed King?
Journey of the Cursed King, yeah.
Okay.
It's a fantastic game.
I have it.
I know. I bought it.
on
I bought it for you for
3DS.
Christmas or something.
I mean, I have it. I must have lost that at some point. I have it digitally. I bought it before the 3DS store closed.
Oh,
I bought a bunch of 3DS games before the store closed. I bought that and SMT4 and 4A. I did not buy Strange Journey Redux because I own that on cart form.
I have the cart for that as well.
And
I think I have all the SMT games for 3DS.
I think that's all I got.
The only one I played through is Soul Hackers, but like I have Soul Hackers, I have 4 Apocalypse, and Strange Journey
And
Redux.
Soul Hackers.
Oh,
I bought Soul Hackers.
I don't have Devil Survivor or Devil Survivor 2. I had Devil Survivor.
Devil Survivor is great.
I had Devil Survivor,
I
but
know
like,
that's not your thing.
but that's again one of the things that I want to get in. I want to get into tactical RPGs, but like I couldn't get into that one for whatever reason.
Yeah, no, because it's very SMT Fire Emblem.
It just felt grindy, I think, was the problem to me.
It's really, in retrospect, it's really weird that they had that whole like Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem crossover thing that they hyped up, and it turned out to be Tokyo Mirage Sessions. When there's already like a Shin Megami Tensei series that has Fire Emblem style combat in it, and they could have just made another one of those.
I gotta be close with that one. Not quite.
Oh, almost there.
A great slam and then some. You're up.
I don't really think I need to duck when I'm down there.
And that is a game that people were like, that game's not very good. And I was like, I'm sure it's probably not very good, but I still want to buy it and play it. And then I bought it and I played it, and I was like, man, this is not very good.
What was that? Tokyo Mirage Sessions?
Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
And they re-released it on the Switch too.
That's the one that I bought.
Was the Switch version?
I bought the Switch version
Okay.
when it came out.
Because I know that people were really excited for that to come out, but I'm like, is it just because it was on the Wii U first? And
That was also another big controversy because they changed the whole arc of that game apparently.
oh, okay. I didn't know if it was just because it was on the Wii U first, and like once the Switch came out, everyone started thinking the Wii U was a bad system.
No, I think it's because it was one of those the few games that was like stuck on the Wii U for a long time. It's really it's not a very good game though.
You know what else might have I don't remember if it was released before or after SMT5, but it could have also been like, we heard about a Super Shin Megami Tensei game, and we heard it was Shin Megami Tensei 5, but they're working on this one instead, when they could have been working on Shin Megami Tensei 5. I don't know if that was it. But I don't remember if that
It might have something to do with
I don't
it.
remember if that came out before or after SMT5 did.
I'm just glad. I'm glad that's not stuck on the Switch anymore in its subpar version.
I
Well, I
actually
don't know. Did you ever play? Have you played Vengeance yet on the Switch?
no, I
Okay.
I don't want to start it when I have too many other things going on. I would have stayed. I would have stuck with the original version because I just kind of like bought it on a whim. When I don't remember if it was on sale. Probably wasn't on sale because shit, that barely goes on sale.
It rarely goes on
I
sale.
think I might
Yeah.
have bought it at full price, and then like just for fucking laughs, I saw the because when you posted that picture, like you were at Walmart or Target or something, and you found like the
Yeah.
Switchbook launch edition or the Steelbook launch edition of the Switch version of
Yeah, it was
the
on
updated
sale
version.
for like $30 or whatever, and I was like, man, that didn't take long. That's not a good sign for SMT5.
And like just for laughs, I looked it up on Amazon, and it was the same price for the same version of it, the Steelbook one. So I just bought it. So I have
I was gonna,
the Steelbook launch edition.
hell yeah. I was gonna find out from you. I guess I can probably just Google it at some point. I'm curious if the performance in Vengeance is any better than it was in the original because
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I didn't
that
even
is
play the original.
really that is really I know people complain about Tears of the Kingdom and I get it, but it in what I've played of Tears of the Kingdom, it didn't like negatively affect the experience. Like there was no point in Tears of the Kingdom where I was like,
Like, what about
this
Tears of the
is really sorry, go ahead.
like? People complained about the performance of Tears of the Kingdom, but like, it's like I haven't played it, but from what I've seen, it's like exactly the same thing as Breath of the Wild, and people were fine with Breath of the Wild's performance. So like, what makes Tears of the Kingdom so different now?
It has a few more. It definitely has more hitches
Okay.
than Breath of the Wild did.
Because I did notice that there
You
was
know,
like when Pokemon Violet came out, Scarlet and Violet came out, there was a huge influx of people who were saying, "Oh well, don't put anything on the Switch because it runs like garbage."
yeah, and
Um,
the point I was trying to make is there were a lot of people that complained about that game. I never had a point with Tears of the Kingdom where I was like, the performance is negatively impacting my ability to enjoy this game. But Shin Megami Tensei 5, I absolutely was like, this is not running at an acceptable level. Like, I cannot enjoy playing this game.
to be
because,
fair,
like,
you also
pushing the button to open the menu has like several seconds of lag. Like I'm playing Final Fantasy VI on the PlayStation. To be fair, I was.
to be fair, you also had performance complaints about Persona 5, and I didn't find any.
I didn't have, you know, you're absolutely right. It wasn't it wasn't frame rate or anything. It was the fact that it ran at such a low resolution in handheld mode that it looked like blurry.
I didn't notice
It
that at
bugged me.
all. I played it. I mean, I played a little bit of it on the in the dock, but like I mostly played it on my Switch Lite. But I also noticed that there's a lot of people problems that people have, and like I played on the Switch Lite, and I never see those problems. So I don't know if the Switch Lite is just a lot more optimized for playing in handheld, because that's like its thing.
I honestly think it's a little bit better just because it has a smaller screen.
Maybe, because like I remember
it doesn't show up as much.
I remember when people really started complaining, like right after Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out, they were complaining about glitches everywhere. And I will back up what they say about the performance because the game does run like garbage. The game is also not good, but like the game does run like garbage. But I never saw any of the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood levels of visual glitches that everyone else did.
Oh yeah.
I never saw any of that. The worst I got was that like there was pop in where there really shouldn't have been pop in, and there were parts where like the frame rate tanked for like no reason. But also like the game itself kind of sucked anyway, so it's
Fair
what it is what it is. I enjoyed playing with people because it had really neat stuff for multiplayer, and I enjoyed collecting the Pokemon as I always do. But like the story and the game world and just like everything else about the game, like I did not enjoy it.
Well, I haven't played it, so I can't tell you. Hit him, you got the thing.
Oh, I do.
Hell yeah. Take that, Cagney.
Yeah, I can stay on for a little bit later, and it's 45 minutes later.
Well, we got him.
Yeah. This has been fun.
All right, so this has been fun. I've enjoyed it. I wish we could have done it co-op, but that's cool.
Uh, I, s- I don't know if I want to continue this on next time, or if I want to try something co-op.
Okay.
Like if you wanted.
Yeah, whatever. If you can find something that is co-op, I'm happy to do it. We'll figure it out.
I mean,
What I'm gonna try to do between now and then is pick a game and actually stick with it for the week and make
Yeah.
some progress.
report back with your progress in the next video.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess when we come back, either more Cuphead or we'll play like maybe Quake 2 or something. But
Yeah, that sounds good.
either way, I've been Captain Floofers,
And I'm Zolan Gray.
and we'll be here next time. Join us, won't you?